The Pelicans' untouchable stance shift. Is a Trey Murphy III move finally possible?
Quick reminder for the Dub Nation. If you're a diehard Warriors fan, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It's the best way to stay updated every single day. Back to the breakdown.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We are jumping straight into the NBA trade deadline, specifically looking at the Golden State Warriors. Our mission today is to really analyze this dramatic shift in leverage around Jonathan Kuminga and what it all means for their biggest targets.
It's a huge story. I mean, probably the biggest non-injury development for the Warriors all season. For weeks, we all heard the same thing, that GSW was vulnerable, that Kuminga's value was, free-falling because of his minutes.
Right, the inconsistent rotation.
Exactly. And teams were circling, trying to use that friction to get a high-upside guy on the cheap.
But that whole idea that the Warriors were almost forced to trade him, that's been completely flipped on its head overnight.
It has. The catalyst is this new reporting that a real bidding war is starting to brew for JK.
And it's all heating up because that key date, January 15th, is just around the corner.
Yeah.
That's when they can officially deal him.
And that's so important for you, the listener, to understand. Kuminga was already probably the most likely big name to be moved in the league, even before some of the other superstar drama started. So to go from this place of weakness where it felt like teams could lowball Mike Dunleavy Jr. to a position of, total control over the market, it changes everything for them.
Okay, so let's unpack Kuminga's value. Because we have to be clear, he is not a finished product by any stretch, but he's obviously a very sought-after asset.
They absolutely are looking past the current stats. I mean, you see the numbers this season. It's a solid 12 points, about 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game.
Which are decent numbers for a young player in a, let's be honest, chaotic system.
For sure. But the real value here, the thing that's driving this bidding war, is his contract.
Okay, explain that. We hear very tradable contract all the time. What does that actually mean for a team's front office?
It just means he's on his rookie scale deal. So for a team that might trade for him, he's cost controlled with huge upside. But here's the magic part. His salary is in that perfect slot to be part of a bigger package.
To match salaries for a veteran.
Exactly. You can match for a high-impact player without totally wrecking your salary cap down the line. Teams are trading for his potential, which they think they can unlock, and his contract flexibility. That combo is it's golden.
And that appeal is getting very real. So who are the confirmed teams that are driving this?
Well, the reports are flying in. Kevin O'Connor and some other sources are confirming at least 3 new teams are in the mix. The Blazers, the Pelicans, and the Wizards.
Wow, okay. And that's on top of the teams we already knew about?
Right. On top of the Pacers, who've been linked for a while, the Kings and the Mavericks.
So we've gone from this internal drama potentially tanking his value to, a 6+ team bidding war about to kick off?
Yeah.
That influx of suitors just completely flips the negotiating table.
Yeah.
GSW is no longer the desperate party.
Not at all. They're in a position of strength. They control the timeline. They can build the package they want. They can actually go out and get a player who fits their specific needs instead of just taking the best offer.
And that strength means they can be picky. Let's talk about some of the packages being floated. The Blazers were mentioned, and they have guys like Jeremy Grant or Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday is the perfect example of why this leverage is so important for Golden State. Look, he's a phenomenal player, objectively. 17 points, 5 boards, 8 assists, great defender.
A
champion. But frankly, if I'm Mike Dunleavy Jr., I'm avoiding him completely.
Wait, really? A hard stop on Drew Holiday? Why? Don't they need that kind of proven, stable vet, especially with how up and down their roster has been? Isn't he a safer bet?
It's a fair question, but it ignores the biggest problem with the Warriors roster right now. They are already small enough. Adding another guard, even one as good as Holiday, is just redundant. The massive gaping hole on this team is a legit two-way wing. Someone with size who can shoot and defend. Holiday just doesn't fill that role.
And the ultimate fear is?
The ultimate fear is the Steve Kerr factor. You know it, I know it. He would find a way to play Drew Holiday at center in some crazy 5-guard lineup.
He would absolutely try it.
He would. They don't need another playmaker. They need height, length, and consistent shooting from the wing. The fact that they can probably say no thanks to a player like Drew Holiday is the ultimate sign of their new power.
Okay, that clarifies the mission perfectly. So they are hunting a very specific profile, an efficient two-way wing. Let's do the deep dive on the top 3 guys they're reportedly discussing.
And this list tells you everything you need to know about what they're prioritizing. It's all about elite efficiency and defensive versatility.
Let's start with target number 1. Trey Murphy III of the New Orleans Pelicans. We know Golden State is very interested. The big hurdle was always that the Pelicans called him untouchable.
Yeah, but that tune is shifting. And this is where the pressure on New Orleans really comes into play. The Pelicans are, struggling a bit to stay high in the West standings. And this is the crucial part. They don't own their own draft pick this year.
So what does not having a pick mean for them right now?
It creates institutional desperation. If they keep sliding, they not only miss out on a good playoff run, but they don't even get a high draft pick out of it. It's the worst case scenario.
They have to win now.
They have to win now, which means they might have to trade future upside like Murphy for immediate help. So even though they have a high price tag on him, their situation makes them vulnerable.
Okay, so why are the Warriors willing to pay that price? What does Murphy bring?
Well, you see the raw stats, 21 points, 6 rebounds, about 3.5 assists. But the deep dive shows the fit is just. It's perfect. He's remarkably efficient. His true shooting percentage is in the top 20 percentile in the whole league.
And for our listeners, just a quick refresher on true shooting. Why is that the key metric here?
It's just a better, more complete measure of scoring. It accounts for everything, threes, twos, and free throws. It gives you the full picture.
Got it.
And for Murphy, you've got 38% from 3, plus high efficiency everywhere else. He's a good defender with length. He's exactly what they're missing. High cost, for sure, but maybe an even higher reward.
Let's move to target number 2, a guy who a lot of Warriors fans have been dreaming about. Michael Porter Jr. Sources say his name is coming up in their internal talks.
MPJ is such a fascinating case. He's putting up 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists for the Nets this season. And, really important, he's been staying relatively healthy.
But again, it comes back to the efficiency.
Always. He's shooting 41% from three-point range with a 63% true shooting. Those are just lethal numbers.
That 41%, that could completely transform their offense.
It's a game changer. I mean, just stop and picture this for a second. Think about all those times Draymond Green gets a wide-open look above the break.
Which he doesn't take.
Or he takes it and misses. Now imagine that exact shot being taken by a guy who hits 41% of them. What does that do? It forces the defense to rotate immediately, and that opens up everything else for Steph and Clay. It's pure offensive gravity.
Okay, our final big target, maybe the highest floor option of the 3, but a guy who gets overlooked because of the teams he's been on lately, Jeremy Grant from the Blazers.
Grant is stability. You know what you're getting. 20 points, 4 rebounds, almost 3 assists. And we've seen him work in a good system before, back in his Denver days.
Right. He could be a role player. He doesn't have to be the guy.
Exactly. The whole idea is that you get him off a struggling team where he has to create everything, and you plug him into a winning system as a complementary piece.
And the advanced stats really back that up, right?
They do. Right now, Grant is in the top 20 percentile for usage. He's carrying a huge offensive load in Portland. You bring him to Golden State, and that usage rate plummets. He's not the first or second option anymore. And the thinking is, with lower usage and better spacing, his efficiency and all his advanced metrics should shoot way up. He becomes that high-end role player they need right now.
And this all comes back to that core idea of leverage. The fact they can even have these conversations about Murphy, MPJ, Grant. Even if those teams don't want Kuminga directly, that's the real power here.
That's the beauty of it. They don't need a simple one-for-one deal anymore. Because so many teams want JK, they can build these complex multi-team trades. Kuminga goes to, say, the Pacers. The Pacers send assets to the Nets, and the Nets send MPJ to the Warriors.
So they get to pick their ideal outcome, not just the easiest one.
Exactly. So the big takeaway is that Golden State has all the leverage heading into this trade season. The ability to hunt for one of these 3 distinct but all highly efficient wings is just an incredibly positive spot for them to be in.
And it seems pretty clear what they're prioritizing. When you hear 38% and 41% from 3, they're serious about getting more shooting on the floor to open things up for Steph.
You have to punish defenses for doubling Steph 35 feet from the hoop. You need guys who can make them pay instantly.
So my prediction, looking at the upside, the length, the long-term fit, I think Trey Murphy III is the home run swing. It'll be the hardest deal to make and it'll cost the most. But he's the guy who fits not just for this year, but for the next 5 years.
And that leads to the final provocative thought for you, the listener, to track. We know the only reason the Pelicans are even picking up the phone about Murphy is because of the pressure they're under.
Yeah.
So how quickly does that high price tag of theirs start to drop if they lose, say, 2 or 3 more games this week, right before that January 15th window? That external pressure on New Orleans could be the very thing that delivers the Warriors their #1 target. That's the dynamic to watch.